Hi, and welcome back to Mathemagics. Today we've got kind of an interesting problem. Well, let's take a look at it. So, this is a big pile of words, so don't worry about it. A teacher asked Dwayne to find the values of x and y in the triangle shown, and then we've got these triangles over here. Teacher provided the following information about the triangles. ABC is similar to triangle PQR, so the two triangles are similar. Okay, neat. And in ABC, cosine of C is 0.92. Okay, we've got some trigonometry. That's neat. Dwayne claims that the value of x can be determined, but the information provided is not sufficient to find the value of y. Which statement about Dwayne's claim is accurate? So we've got two that say he's correct and two that say he's incorrect. So let's think about this for a hot second, okay? So we know the cosine of C, we know the hypotenuse of ABC, and we know one of the legs of PQR, okay? So they're similar triangles, so there are corresponding parts, all right? When they're similar, that means the angles are the same, even if the sides are different lengths. So since we know the cosine of C, that means we know the cosine of its corresponding part, R. So the cosine of that is 0.92. And the cosine, as we know, is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And conveniently enough, over here on ABC, x right here is our adjacent side, and the hypotenuse is 20. So that means that we're going to have x over 20 equals the cosine of C, and we can solve for that. But also we have the cosine of R, because if cosine of C is 0.92, cosine of R is 0.92. And it's still adjacent over hypotenuse, so 45 over y. So we have all this information. What are we going to do with it? Well, we can, solve for things. So like all that stuff I just said, x over 20 is going to equal 45 over y. Now that can't solve anything, but we also have them both equal to 0.92. So that means that x over 20 is equal to 0.92 and 45 over y is equal to 0.92 because, again, cosine. All right, we're going to assume you've had basic like SOHCAHTOA, stuff like that. We don't even have to do inverse trig here. So we have, something where we can solve for y. So we know what y is. And since Dwayne says that you can't, that means we can fully eliminate anything that says that Dwayne is correct. All right? Because, screw it. And we could solve for x and y, but it looks like we don't even need to here, because let's look at our answers. So his claim is correct, we don't care. His claim is correct, we don't care. His claim is incorrect, because cosine of C equals 20 over x. Well, hold up. No, it doesn't, because the cosine of C equals x over 20, adjacent over hypotenuse. Super. And then, so that means C isn't going to work, so D, our only answer remaining, has to be the correct answer, and, it is, because this is solvable, and the answer is D, but let's read it. So, his claim is incorrect because cosine of C is x over 20, and 0.92 can be substituted for cosine of C. Okay. And since the triangles are similar, the ratio will be the same as 45 over y. And that's exactly what we came up with. So here's the cool thing. We didn't do any math there. We didn't do any arithmetic there. Notice I've crunched none of these numbers. And we even knew that D was going to be the correct answer before we even read it. Here's today's main focus of our little trick. Using information that you know generally to eliminate possibilities before you even bother with them. All right? So you have over here the correct, two incorrect. All right? There's two ways you can approach this. You know adjacent over hypotenuse. So you know you have to have x over 20. And you see here, there's two answers with 20 over x. Well, those two answers can't be correct because that's a nonsensical fraction. Like 20 over x doesn't work for this situation. And so we have 2 that have x over 20. Okay, so great. So now we have 1 correct, 1 incorrect. Well, if you thought about it for another second, you're like, well, if we know the cosine of this, we know the cosine of this. And so we can use that. So you know that he has to be incorrect. He has to be wrong in order to look at your answers. So you know he has to be wrong, and you know what the fraction is. And that's it. You're done. But let's look at B again, because it has an interesting little thing. So his claim is correct because blah, 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 and can be substituted for cosine of C. But the cosine of angle R is not given for the triangle. So that's their thing. So if you're reading that and they're like, the cosine of angle R isn't given, well, wait a minute. Remember how similar triangles work. So really, this right here is asking you to remember similar triangles and SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. It's the good stuff, right? So, and that's it. We're done. Like, we did it. It's, no arithmetic, just basic remembering your knowledge. And hey, that trigonomic ratio is on the reference sheet, so half of this answer is given to you right there. Isn't that nice? Anyway, that's all we had for today. I've been Eric Zierfoss Miller. Again, have a fantastic day, and I hope that your day was mathemagical. See you next time.